Hello everyone. Today is the third day of the Ca' Foscari Short Film Festival and we are Alessia and Eleni. It's a pleasure for us to have Barbara Biddulph, which is a member of the international competition jury. So welcome, Barbara.
Thank you.
We would ask you a couple of questions about your career and your participation at the festival. So, you have had a long and fruitful journey in the animation industry, taking up various roles as art director, illustrator, designer, creative supervisor, working on successful projects like Bob the Builder, Fantastic Mr. Fox, and Freaking Winnie. How does it feel now to take on this new role as a member of the international competition jury?
To start with, I thought, what can I bring to this? Then I had to watch all the films, 30 films, before I came to Venice. And that was really interesting to watch 30 different, very, very different films of all sorts of genres and time lengths and subject matters. And I just decided that I was going to be the audience. Obviously, I've got my own skills that I use when I'm watching films, even films that I have nothing to do with or I'm just going to enjoy. And ultimately I thought I need the film to work on whatever level it's trying to give me as an audience. So it felt quite a lot of responsibility. We have literally just this morning, the 3 jury members have spent maybe 5 hours coming up with the first prize one and then 2 recommended ones. And that has also been an interesting process because I've had a producer and also a film director and then myself in production to listen to the way other people see film. And they've actually changed my mind on how, or rather the choices we've made. And I think I've changed their minds a little bit. So of each 3 people have brought something to this jury, which has come up with, actually, the one that has got the top prize, we all said, that's the top prize, the very first sentence we said. So there was no discussion about the top prize. That was straight in, perfect, easy. We thought, it's going to take 20 minutes. But the other 2 prizes, we were fairly clear what we wanted, but there were 2 that could have gone either way. So we probably spent a long time on that section, deciding the 2 prizes themselves, what would you call, recommendations. So it's been really, really interesting journey to, first of all, work out what I enjoy in a film and watching a film as an audience, but also trying to be more, I would use the word critical. I don't mean in a bad way, I just mean very carefully watching something. So from that point of view, it's been a learning experience as well, and a really enjoyable experience. I feel quite honoured to have done it, and I'll do it again if anybody wants any jurying. I'm up for it again. It's been great, really good journey. Yeah, I have enjoyed it.
Thank you.
So that was a very interesting insight in the behind the scenes of the festival.
Yeah.
On another behind the scenes, in an older interview, you said that creativity is the key to problem solving. Would you like to share with us a behind the scenes situation from a set where you had to come up with a creative solution?
Gosh, off the top of my head, there have been many. The industry I've worked in is stop frame animation, which is literally a puppet which you physically move between shots. I've also worked on a live action puppet show again, and I do remember one moment where we needed some rocks to fall in a very, very specific pattern and timing, and we did it a few times, and the cameraman was getting very cross, and the prop makers couldn't work out what to do, and I was just really concentrating on what is happening, or rather not happening. And I realised that there was just an angle that needed to be cut on one of these rocks, which would make the whole thing fall perfectly. And that, it's just those simple things which you can almost only get from experience by maybe never having to control a load of rocks falling down, but you bring in an awful lot of other, transferable skills. So you think, well, that worked then, so maybe it will work now if I change it a little bit because it's a rock and not a plate of cakes or something. So you very much depend on things you've done in the past, and you can bring them to the fore and go, yeah, that worked. So I think you're almost guessing, but based on a lot of knowledge previously gained. So I think from that point of view, you almost know how to do it, but you've just never done it before. That's a very odd way of putting it. Yeah, that's about it, actually, yeah. Yes. But creativity itself is really, really important, not only in the process of developing a product, which is basically what I do. You know, I get given a subject matter and then I have to imagine a whole new world for it to live in. So there's a strong creativity in that. I live in a world in my head that nobody else has seen before, and so I have to then put it down in a way that other people can see this world. So creatively I am solving that, passing information. It is information. So the information is in my head, nobody's seen it before. I have to put it in a way that's going to work for them to understand, so that then they can go off and do their job. They can go and make the house or the tree or the plate of jelly or whatever it is that I've designed. So there's creatively I have to speak to people in a way that they can understand. There are many layers of creativity that come into the whole process of my job. And also technically, the stop frame world itself has a lot of technical needs. So the puppet, I should have brought a puppet with me, shouldn't I? The puppet has metal feet which are magnetized to the base. So the whole floor of whatever we're looking at is metal, and then the magnet goes underneath. That's very simply put. Then you have to make them climb up steps or climb a tree, so you have to work out how all of those things are going to go. So not only do you have to work out the world they're going to live in, then how are they going to move around it as well. So technically, you're working with the animators and the animation director as to what they need it to do, the puppet or the vehicle or whatever's happening. So you not only have to creatively think, but you have to engage other people's creative processes and make sure that you're both answering the same question.
So it's basically teamwork of decoding the idea and building it.
I mean, that again, I work in very large projects, so I can't do it all myself, although I have done it all myself in other tiny projects. If you have a very small project, creatively, again, you have to be able to transfer your skills again to be a lighting, a camera, a set, a prop, a storyboard. So you have to be able to do all of those things. And again, sometimes there's a problem and you look around, there's nobody else there that can even have a go. So you think, well, I'll have to have a go then, and you just get on with it. I love that. That to me, you know, you've got to face the fear and do it anyway. So that's how I've learnt most of it, actually, just by going, ooh, better give it a go then. So yeah, the creativity, it isn't just making pretty pictures, it's an awful lot of thinking and solving problems.
So it's a work of many people who put their all in it. On that matter, I would... there is also nowadays this ongoing conversation on digital tools like artificial intelligence, and I would like to ask you, what do you think about the use of digital technologies in stop motion projects? Do you see them as an opportunity or a risk for the craft of the industry?
Yeah. I love it.
Okay.
Definitely. I know, and I have seen, it makes some jobs disappear. But then it also makes possibilities happen as well. So it is, you know, a good and a bad thing. In stop frame animation, it can quicken the process of making things. We're really just talking about making things here. So for me to make, I don't know, 20 years ago we had to make a lot of little mobile phones, so they're only this big. So we had to carve one, make a mould of it, take out the original, and then start casting into it to get 20 mobile phones, and we had to paint them, etc. Now we can just set off. I mean, what the company I was working in, I think we had 27 3D printers. So you just put it on, go home overnight, and then come back, and there were 27 mobile phones. From that point of view, which obviously affects budgets and time, all of those things are saved. Potentially it might mean a project gets made instead of not made, because you can do it cheaper, but it also means some people don't get employed. So it is love-hate, really. I think you can safely say that. And I have to say, quite a lot of skills are being lost through it. So the people I work with, have worked with, their skills are amazing. The model makers and the sculptors are amazing, but now those things are disappearing. But it is like anything in life, you can't stand still. You have to change with whatever's going on around you, really. Yeah, so yes and no, but mainly yes.
That's great. I think that's all for today. It's been a great pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Great.
And enjoy the rest of the festival.
I will do indeed, yes, thank you. Thank you.